Yearly sales
Didn't
are
want
fast
that to start us off. Daniel Hibberd joins me. Always got to be a little bit of a clerical error to start things off. But welcome, Daniel Hibberd, to On Loose Lines 2022 model.
Happy New Year, Paul. Yes, good to be back, and bit of a freshen up, and we're back into it. Although you probably aren't all that fresh after your day, from what I hear. So, but hopefully we can do a bit of a recap and a preview of what's been going on, what's coming up in the next few days of harness race.
Effectively, mate, we just want to have a little bit of fun, you and I, and that's all we do. So. I had actually said to you, I didn't think we should be doing the show. You suggested otherwise.
I won't use your exact words.
You suggested otherwise, and to be honest, mate, I appreciate it because I think I enjoy this show. It's a bit of fun. I have got my Facebook page up as well, so we'll be able to keep an eye on the people. We've got 10 people online, so please get involved. Don't be scared to give us a heads up and have a chat to us. We're more than happy to talk to people. We'll have our regulars that'll come in. Hopefully everyone had a good and safe Christmas, and that's always part as well. Plus, the audio is working because I just opened up my YouTube page. You heard that too, did you, Daniel?
Professional, I did hear that, yes.
Professionalism 101. Firstly, how'd you experience Christmas, mate?
Yeah, it was a good Christmas.
And the new year, because I'm not going to ask you two questions in one.
Yeah. Christmas was good. I had Patrick down here for the last 10 days or so. He went back yesterday, so and I started back at work on Monday, so I had a nice bit of a freshen up with quite a few calling jobs, but I had pretty well a week off between Christmas and New Year, which was good, except for New Year's Eve. I got the late call up to go to Ballarat on New Year's Eve, which actually worked out pretty good, really, because obviously we had the Vic Bred finals at Melton, and I was up the road at Ballarat, and I actually came back. I thought instead of going cross country, I'll just go down the freeway and Ring Road and then back up the Hume, which actually worked out a little bit further travel kilometres, but time-wise it was about the same, so that was good. And we're driving into Melbourne just before midnight, and I think Patrick had the best thrill he's had in a long time. For the next 40 kilometres, it was just fireworks going off everywhere. Every side of the Ring Road, the Western Highway and the Hume, there was just fireworks going off everywhere. So he had a good trip home on New Year's Eve, and it was a bit of a sight. Actually, it was quite one of those rare times that you sort of time it to see something like that. But it was fun. It was really good to see.
Yeah, it is. It is fun, fireworks. Two things on the fireworks. We went to Sale Cup Boxing Night. For some reason in Sale, they decided at 10 o'clock on Boxing Night was a good night to set off the fireworks too. It was very, very odd. Holly got a bit more than she bargained for at Sale. But did you see in Italy, the president, the prime minister, whatever he is over there, the head honcho of Italy, he banned fireworks because of COVID, big gatherings. So the crowd or the population took it upon themselves. They had the biggest fireworks display ever. They give it to him. So
if it tells people not to do something, what are they going to do?
Yeah, that is exactly right. So we have got plenty of people tuned in and watching. So please don't be afraid to flick us a message and get involved. There's plenty of people there, and hopefully everyone had a good Christmas too. So tell us, give us a bit of an update on your Christmas. I got my computer set up a little bit. We're still not allowed to show the trots, but they are on track for the second. I see Kieran Manning took out the first with a horse that I don't mind actually, a more rock. He is a big brute of a horse for the Tyndales, but Kezi took out the first, and runners are on the track for the second. Any form for the second, Daniel?
It's an up to 47 4-year-old nodders, so these are pretty tricky sort of races.
Easy races to do the form on, aren't they?
They're difficult. They're difficult races to assess the form. I'll have to bring up the tab app and see what we can find out with prices there. But I just had it going there. It looks like it's fairly windy down there. The camera in the home straight wasn't keeping very still, so it looked like it was fairly wet. Fairly windy, I should say. Smooth Techie's the favourite, number 2 for Glenn Craven and David Drury. I think David got tipped out at Mount Gambier the other day. I did see a race. He was standing on the infield there. Someone might have to correct me on that, but I reckon he got tipped out at Mount Gambier. City Siren is the second elected 280, and then Miss Chianti at 30. So they're the three under double figures.
you just broke up, unfortunately, mate. Something's happened to Daniel. He will be back very shortly. I see we've got Alex Hurley, Lee Sutton, and quite a few other people on there. Treen Doherty, join me. You're back anyway, Daniel. You just cut out for 1 second. It's because we said about how good the internet reception was. Mick Barbie, and I don't know if Mick's online or not. He could be. I'm not sure if he is or he isn't, but just trying to keep up with everything that's going on there with all these feeds. But he was telling me that Creswick is flooded. Absolutely creeks and everything. His parents live there, just out of Ballarat. Ballarat has been pummeled with rain. So the rain has come. Whether we're going to get it there where we are, I don't think so, because it's that hot and sweaty. But yeah.
Well, I'm sitting and looking directly east, and it's just completely grey and black that side. It's just missing us completely here in Shep. So I think through Yarrawonga, and then you get across into the hills there. It's been pretty steady rain over the last sort of 6 hours. Forecast suggests that we're going to get something, but yeah, I don't know how true that'll be. The forecast was for about 60 mil on Friday. I sort of brought that back a little bit, but hopefully we do get a bit of rain through here, because we just need to settle the dust a little bit.
Any of our friends from New Zealand or that are watching, it's very sweaty where we are, but your directions don't really work when you're pointing at a screen. You know that, don't you?
I know that, but I'm just Move on.
I got to give you a hard time about things. We could recap onto the Vic Bread night, I suppose, and if people want to get involved and probably say that they're what they thought was their highlights, but a couple of probably your highlights, Daniel, out of the night, some of the things that you took away from the night on Vic Bread night.
I thought that Ladies in Red's performance was just superb in that race on New Year's Eve, and I mean there's been a lot of talk about whether she's the best 3-year-old filly, or the best filly we've seen, and there's some articles suggesting that she was, and some people sort of not knocking it, but sort of saying there's a couple of better ones from previous years. But certainly in the modern era, she's probably one of the best fillies we've produced in this part of the world. She's just been just super throughout her 2- and 3-year-old career. Obviously there's that she hasn't taken on the boys, as people have mentioned, and but she was just super on New Year's Eve. I think I did see on Twitter someone at back Rogue Wave at a pretty decent price, and had a bit of a flutter on Rogue Wave, and I think 100 metres out they were probably thinking we're a chance here, but Ladies in Red was just too good. She's super filly. I think she went through that little bit of a flat spot there for a bit, but still ran a couple of seconds. It didn't get beaten far or anything like that, but when the big races are on, she's just been so consistent, so strong, and she's a wonderful filly.
I'm going to be self-indulgent for a minute, but how good was Clayton Tonkin giving people the drive on her last track work? I mean, two things I love from it. I've now done Max Delight, who won the Victoria Cup, and Ladies in Red, who won hers and started favourite. He didn't win the day that I done his, but what's his name? Parisian Artiste. I done one with him as well. So they've all won Group 1 races. So from that point of view, but Clayton Tonkin, just sensational. Gave up his time. I just said to him one day, I said, what's the chances of me getting a mic'd up one day with you? And he says, yeah, be here at 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, and we'll do it behind Willow. And I said, sweet. And I said, who's Willow? And then he told me. I was like, great. So I think the access, and Dave ran yesterday, the access these guys are giving us, and the feedback is just first class. So and we'll discuss Dave Moran in a minute. Lee Sutton's very happy with Nigel Armstrong's comment. I just want to point out, Daniel, I've got a new photo up over the back of me, which Nigel won't like at all. That's actually McCheddar. I needed something. There was nothing up there at all, so I thought I'll go and grab the picture of McCheddar. And Nigel, just so you're aware, that's Greg Sugars who drove that. So you might hold him in a little bit different stead to what he does at our place. I think he'd get sleeping rights over me if he happened to knock on the door, so there's no problems there. But very, very funny article there from Nigel Armstrong, our New Zealand friend. So.
I didn't actually see that race. I was actually in transit on the the way to the dogs there at Ballarat. I was probably 20 minutes away when I actually listened to that race. And Dan Malecki's call was about as perfect as you get for the circumstances of the drive and the race. He painted like I didn't have vision. I'm only listening to the radio, and we often go on about callers and whether they can paint a picture of for those that haven't got vision. And he painted the picture perfectly. You knew exactly what Greg was doing in the run and how he, where he was and where he'd got to, and then basically lauded him when he went past the post to win it. It was, and I still actually, to be fair, I still haven't watched the replay. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but just through the call, you just knew exactly how good a drive it was.
Yeah, exactly, and you could hear in Dan's voice, I reckon, after about 200 metres, because I, like you, didn't watch it live. I actually was going and getting groceries, and I was just sitting in the car park and listening. And after about 200 metres, I reckon, Nigel, you could have put the cue in the rack, because you could just tell in Dan's voice it was going to win. It was going to be the drive of the night, and there was nothing going to take it away from it because of just he's a master at painting a picture, Dan, so he can really do a great job. And you just could tell in the tone of his voice, once 200 metres are gone, it's like, wow, this is on. But it was a brilliant night of racing. There were some really good highlights. Towards the end of the night, got sort of really good, especially with the trotters. A lot was said about James Herbertson and good on him. But the Angos winning a Group 1 race. Plymouth Chubb winning a Group 1 race. You listen to the guys on Trots Vision, and it's easy. I do the work as well, but they were more or less saying the New South Wales visitors weren't up to it. Well, along come Fancy, and she proved them wrong and then she was a tough win. I think there was some really, really good highlights. But at the end of the day, I think horses like Ladies in Red, Boy from Bondi, those sort of things. Bondi locked in.
Bondi locked in.
Boy from Bondi's in on Sunday. Them horses winning as well is what we also want for our sport. The boys, the Johnson boys, I don't know if they're watching or not from time to time, but Jeter's mum's had 4 foals and they've earned over $1 million. How's that? It's not bad.
Right.
It's not bad going, is it? So yeah, she only had to win. I presume it's happened because she only had to win 200,000, and she would have done that the other day. So yeah, just a great little mare coming up to breeding season. They're the sort of great stories that we want in the industry. So yeah, I put a post out, or someone put a post out about her being the best. I don't have an issue that she hasn't raced the boys and all the rest, but I think if you're going to call her the best, you just got to be a bit careful when they haven't raced the best. When horses like Tailor Made Lombos, Adore Me's, Blossom Lady, there's some very, very good horses that you got to be a bit tempered on just at the minute. I hope she is the best, because I tell you what, we're in for a hell of a ride if she is, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
If she keeps racing, she's just going to be, she'll obviously move into the 4-year-old, and she'll basically be rated out of anything, any of the lower class races. So she will have to step up to racing the big guns. So it'll be an interesting to see how she goes against that company.
Yeah, definitely will, and it's good company. I see Dave Murphy got the chock. He's lucky you didn't try to tip that one.
Well, I'll just see it. $30 it's paid, $4 a place. Miss Chianti ran second. Hanover Jack was third, and Officially Shady ran fourth. So in the end, City Siren must have been back pretty heavily. It was into $1.90 odds on favourite. So it was really heavily supported. But Murph gets up at 30-1.
He's actually having a good run at the minute, Murph, too. He's,
and a few of them are getting up at a decent price too. So that's not like he's driving ones that are in the market and being expected to perform well. He's got the ones at big odds that are racing consistently at the moment.
I want an update on the trifecta when it comes through, please, because I would say it'll be pretty...
702.
Wow. What do you
First four paid 4,100, so that's a pretty nice. I don't think how much was in the pool. It was so it was 5,500 in the pool, so that's pretty much it. The whole pool's gone off there.
Just watching the replay of it there, and definitely starting to get wet there by the looks too. So Dave Murphy, he'll be in his element, nice and warm, and he won't be one bit worried about the cold weather. You're talking about your calling, mate. You had a bit of a stint in Mildura. How did you enjoy the Mildura trip?
I have a new appreciation for all the drivers that go up there. It's a bloody long way. especially from Shepparton. I know when the Russell Jack's taken a team of horses up there. It's a massive journey, particularly from this part. I know it's probably a little bit closer from sort of the Bendigo way, but it's still a long way up the road. But it was a good night. It was warm, but I enjoyed it. And I didn't see Dan Malecki was up there last week, so he had the meeting up there. Oh, sorry, last night he had the meeting up there, so he's probably enjoying a bit of a holiday up there too.
I was wondering that because Lockie was calling Yarra Glen today, and I'm thinking that was a little bit more to go there. So, yep, and it's all good. So, yep, that's okay. Sorry, I had a private message sent to me, which is one I've got to act on, but it's not one I've got to act on for our show tonight. So, no, it was from Kevin Hoy, and like we say, a lot of people, the unsung heroes of our sport. Kevin is a gate attendant, so that was the reason why I answered that, because I thought, well, maybe he wanted something put out that we didn't. So no, Daniel, I wasn't being totally facetious. I just just had to do something. But the worst part is now I'm on a different screen and I don't like it. I liked the screen I was on before; it was much nicer. So I don't know what I've done. Then I've lost all my comments. So if anyone else other than Lee Sutton or that chime in, that'll be fine. It is a very different place to visit, but it's a great place. I reckon it's a terrific place to go and visit. And
it's a beautiful spot to visit. It's just that the problem is it's just 500 k's away from, basically 300 k's away from any major town. So it's a long way to go. And but they love their sport. They love their racing up there, and it has a life of its own up in that part of the world. And when the people from the southern part of the state go up there, it is different racing. It is completely different to anything that you'll experience across the southern half of the state. They no holds barred racing, and no sprint lane or anything like that. So it's and because of the class of horse, they're all very similar, a lot of them. So it's good racing.
Cup week, Lee Sutton said. So yeah, I'm sure he's gearing up for that. I wonder how he went on the wakeboard. He was enjoying the nice, warm tempered conditions at Port the other day, as a few of us were. We got a bit of a tease.
Yeah, Brett. I know it's an oasis, but it would have been stinking hot, surely.
We got a little bit of a tease when we got there. It was very cloudy and there was a touch of a breeze, and it was just nice. And yeah, within about 2 minutes.
We had that over here. I thought, it's not going to be a bad day because it was supposed to be 40 something, and then
it was 40. Don't worry.
Yeah, the cloud burned off and it got hot real quick.
Actually, Lee Sutton did one of the fatal mistakes, but he wasn't on his own. But left the seat out in the sun, and he was wiggling and weaving a little bit in the cart when he got there. But I'll tell you one thing actually from Port that was really, really good, Daniel. Doug Gretrix, who you would know for your association with Donald and all the rest, but long-term harness racing starter and done a lot of things. Actually, with Wayne, I'm not sure his relationship with Wayne. I think he's Wayne's uncle, but I'll clarify that. But he got his first winner ever. So so he had his first winner ever. So he was very, very pumped. It was the first meeting he'd got to through with COVID and the likes. So he was there, he enjoyed it and had a smile, and he got the official trophy presentation. So he really stepped it right up. So he's one of the good guys of harness racing, and it was good to see that he got the chockies. That's for sure.
That's I mean, most people in the game will know Doug through his being the starter and everything, but he's obviously not been able to own any horses or race any horses, and for him to get a winner, it's pretty cool. It is really cool actually for him to get a winner.
It's very different in New Zealand. Nigel over there, they do treat it a little bit differently, but Martin Pearson, he's in charge of the sire stakes programming, the whole box and dice. He breeds horses. He's got horses going through the NZB sale. I've got catalogues here somewhere. I don't know if I have got any left. If anyone wants any, though, please give me a yell. I've got other catalogues. We'll get on the Nutrient in a minute. But they're allowed to own them. And it's terrific. I know Mitch Davis, he owned a Group 1 winner, whereas the employees at HRV are not allowed to own them. So, it's a funny little one, I must say. So, anyway, that's okay. I think it's all good. It's going to ramp up very shortly with the yearling sales. There's plenty going on there, but we might actually. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to do one little thing, Daniel. I'm going to be self-indulgent for 20 seconds. I think it goes for.
Yearling sales are fast approaching, and Campbell's Comments can help you gain maximum exposure for your yearlings with a yearling parade video. Capturing all standing angles as well as jogging, walking and general parade vision, and including an informative voiceover, a yearling parade video will bring positive attention to your yearlings across social media platforms. For more information regarding yearling parade videos, contact Campbell's Comments now.
So Troy Harley helped me do that one. A little bit of a promotion, but if anyone does want their yearlings videoed going forward, they can be any sale. It doesn't have to be, please, I'm not exclusive to Nutrien by any stretch. So the APG one, I'm actually going to do Bruce Edwards' on Monday, but please, anyone that wants Campbell's Comments and would like some videos, reach out to us and give us a yell and the likes. And anyone who would like to advertise anything on this program going forward as well, I would like to really ramp it up. I hit a milestone today, Daniel. I'm going to say I have 5,000 followers, I think, on the page. So the page is ever growing. It was 3,000 just prior to Christmas, and we're now at 5. So things have gone very good. I've had a video go viral. It's over 6 million. It's over 6 million views. So yeah, which is pretty cool actually. From a personal point of view, it's very, very good. I really enjoy that. But anyone that wants to promote their products and the likes, we did a bit of a promo for Albury Harness Racing Club, whether we helped or not, but they got good fields. We got a lot of feedback, or positive feedback too, which is key. So Tim and the crew were very, very happy, and I think they had a pretty good night by all accounts. He might have had a sore head the next day. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Fair chance he did. I did see they did have a couple of videos, the finishes of the races, and there was a fairly tidy crowd there, so I think they'd be really happy with what crowd they had there on New Year's Eve, and obviously the fireworks after the last. So they always do a good job, because I know it's a big meeting in Albury on New Year's Eve.
And Leeton, they had their Christmas. When was this?
Carnival of Cups was New Year's
Day.
Night, I think.
Yeah, New Year's Day or night. Yeah, January 1. Yeah, so they had that, and I know they had a huge time as well. So I was talking to Grant Coelho. I'm actually heading to New South Wales for a hit and run visit the next 2 days, but I won't be able to catch up with him, but I will possibly the week after. I'm going to keep trying to promote as many people as we can, and what Leeton are doing is terrific. So it's really, really key going forward. I don't know.
Just looking at the cup race there at Leeton, Narano won it for Alan Bartley and Blake Jones, and the horse again owned by Mr. M.W. Boots.
Wow.
He's got some good ones. He's got some good ones.
Yeah, he bought up last year at the sales, but he's there'll be a lot of people, because I know he's got horses with Jody Quinlan. He's got with a few people. So the other horse he had at Leeton, one was with Craig Turnbull, I think. Craig Turnbull and and Bartley's, I think, were the other horse. So so he's spread them
in the Breeders' Plate.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Definitely it was Craig Turnbull. I'm trying to think who had the other one now that I've said that. But anyway, I think it was Alan.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I can get that for you. Hang on.
Don't throw me under the bus too much, will you?
No.
I said you've got enough monitors and everything else like that. I've got one boo-boo. I've put one on my left hand. No, it's on my left hand. I've worked out that it's not that easy to drive a computer left-handed. So,
Jason Grimson had it. Jason Grimson trained it, and Blake Jones drove it.
Yeah, so he's spreading them around, which is really really good as well, especially around that area. They need as much promotion as they can. I think my friends at Wagga, they've got a couple of meetings coming up. They've got one Friday, and I think they've got another one early next week or something along those lines. So they've got a couple of meetings as well coming up shortly. So which is good there as well. You're looking at that.
Yeah, they're on Friday afternoon, the 7th, and then also the 10th, Monday the 10th. So we've got a few meetings coming up in a row up there at Wagga. And
that might have put a bit of pressure on the Cobram meeting as well, possibly something we hadn't thought about as well, Daniel, when we were talking about it just there before. But so don't forget, with both Nutrien, I haven't got a banner to go up there. I probably could have, but I haven't actually got it there to go. But their catalogue's out, so if you haven't got a catalogue, reach out to me. I've got plenty, and I'll be getting more very, very shortly. So the catalogue is out and online. But their rehoming for the horses to New South Wales, Daniel, is going to be held the 5th of February. I will be ramping it up from basically this weekend. That's one of the things I'm doing in New South Wales. So we'll be catching up with as many of the retrainers and making sure that people are aware of it. It is an online auction, so if you want to get involved in it, again, you just got to register through Auctions Plus. 4 weeks out, plenty of time. But if you got your registration and everything done early, it's all fine. Go to nutrient.com.au and they will facilitate you there. Mio and Mark will all look after you, but don't forget it. I think it's a great cause. Yep, I get paid by Nutrient to promote their product. I don't have a problem there. I'm quite happy to say it, but this I'd be promoting anyway. This a novel way of looking at our brilliant animals in a rehoming light. Montefief, Joanne Anderson still owns, is paying up for the horse to go through it. So yeah, some really, really good stuff, and I think that's great.
Absolutely, it sounds like it's going to be a really awesome thing.
And while I got me New Zealand friend on, although he only put the one post on, he might have deserted us, Nigel. Oh no,
he's come back.
He has come. He's come back. Getting a good beating would be a good video. I'll pass your love on to him, Nigel. There's no worries there at all. Sunday's Sun, Nigel. I want a message about how good it was on the weekend. The footage looked sensational, and hats off to John Dunn. I don't know him. I know Nigel's his right-hand man, left-hand man, does a lot with him as far as promotion and that. But anyone that can walk a horse down the length of the crowd, on a Sunday afternoon, like it's not a Dominion handicap or an Inter-Dominion or any of those things, and take the time to let the people see the good horses. Hats off. I think that's how we sell our name. So, yeah. So, no.
And that's the thing. Like what you've mentioned just before with your head cam vision with Ladies in Red and Artie and it's the trainers are prepared to do it because they know. I think they know from a fairly early time frame how good the horses are that they have the ones that they've in terms of Sally obviously knew how good Artie was from a very early age. I'm sure Clayton and Emma were the same with Ladies in Red, and Akey would have been the same, similar with Max Delight. They all would have known how good their horses are, and they want to promote it. They want to put it out there that these horses are a headline acts. And for Sunday Sun to do that, and he's just been amazing to watch at the races. I mean, to get that exposure, you can't script it, you can't buy it. It's just things that happen, and it's fantastic.
No, it definitely is. Michael, don't stress. Nigel is just taking the mickey.
He is stirring.
He is stirring. Michael, if you're watching it, basically that Nigel owns Spellbound, unfortunately, who ran second. Purely back to the fact that the Candyman did go that well. So, yeah, it's all been taken in the right context. That is for sure. Next at Terrain, how far out are we going there? No, we're still 12 minutes, so you've got plenty of time to get your bets on for that one. You got anything in the market, Daniel? Did you have a look?
Just having a quick look. There's only a field of 5, so there's not much in it. It is a trot race. I was going to say I thought it was a trot. Double Helix is $2.70. Fling It Rainbow's $3.30. Majestic Jewel $5. The Clippers at $21, and the bottom one's All What Fun Jingles, which is probably the omen tip given its Christmas period. It's at $3.
Very, very good. I'll get that field up as for the participants so they can actually quickly see it. You're a little bit quick on it. So, yeah, actually a very small field. Dave Murphy would have been a lock to win it. So, yeah, Double Helix. Jack McKinnon, former employer at Harasta Trotters, but he's made the long trip to Terang, but she's a good place Terang to go to. May have the best hot chips. I can tell you that for a fact, mate. So there's no hassles there at all. I actually just cheated then, Daniel. I had to get back out because I wanted to go to... Where are we going to start? Which meeting would you like to start?
We'll do Bendigo first because it's first in time-wise.
Oh, it didn't work. I'm in some trouble. So people are just going to have to bear with me here for a second because I've got to work out how to get out of this thing. There it is there. It takes me a minute or two to work this out. So, but it's okay. People can still see us, Daniel. It is a good meeting at Bendigo. You reckon this isn't this? It's very good for everything else that does this, but this part drives me nuts. Rightio, we've nearly got Bendigo ready to go. Nearly need a set of glasses. Which one's Bendigo? Oh, because it's Saturday night, you muppet. Right, got it now.
Good.
I've got it. Got it. Got it now. I must say well done to a few of the participants. I contacted them to promote the meeting too. They did a great job. So 6:25 is the first race. It must be, it is, it's the old-fashioned MO. Field Metropolitan class race. Interesting group of runners in that one, Daniel.
Yeah, it's a pretty good field, really, when you look at it. I'd say that October Rain's marked as the favourite on the odds there, but it's drawn inside the second row. It's going to need a little bit of luck over that sprint trip. Magic Mike should hold up a decent position, so it might be leaders back. It might be three the pegs if worst came to worst. But yeah, it's a pretty good standard MO, and I'd reckon there's probably at least 5 or 6 winning chances in that race.
Lance Justice, when his horses are in form, they stay in form, don't they? So yeah,
would probably be one of the hardest to beat. I know it's drawn 10, but it's probably really racing at the top of its game at the moment.
Another of the MOs, there's 2 of those, which is great for participants, 2 $20,000 races. There's actually, on the next is a trot, there's a 20,000, so great stake money on offer at Bendigo.
Yeah, Metro meeting there with the Cup, but that second race for the mares is 4-year-old and older mares. Pretty good, another good field. I wouldn't say there's an absolute star in the race, and most of the chances are probably drawn the second row. So I'd say it'll be a battle of tactics in this one. I just had a soft spot for Shayella. I thought she's been pretty consistent for Laura Crosland. The figure form probably doesn't read all that strong, but she did run 5th in a semi-final of the size, and then 8th in the final. So steps back a little bit in grade to 4-year-old mares. I reckon she'd have to be some sort of chance in that race.
Ember, is it having its first start here in Australia? I was trying to get it up very quickly while we were going through it.
No, it's had one run. It was 6th of November. It ran down the track. Went 155. Actually got stood down 28 days, so that's why it hasn't been seen since that one.
Very, very good. You're a good man. You may save me. I just got it on the left hand. I just got it. World's best hoof oil. Must congratulate Bruce. He passed away, I think, a year ago, but signed up for a 5-year contract before his passing. That's how passionate he was about this. So if you're looking for a hoof oil out there, definitely not a sponsor of me. It's just one of those things I knew because of my time on the committee at Bendigo Harness Racing Club. And his continued sponsorship is great, as all sponsors are in the industry. We're buggered without them. So, but yeah, it's terrific, and a good little field of trotters. Hopeful Beauty's the emergency for the Mari Mile, and she starts favourite in this race, and probably rightfully so. $1.70 is very, very short for a horse off 3 off the second line. Over the 16.50 though. Yeah,
it's certainly the one to beat. Its form probably reads pretty good with that last start win. Might be a bit of speed off the front line there. Masucci's obviously been a bit of an enigma, that horse, for Emma Stewart. At its absolute best, it could certainly run time, but particularly over the sprint trip at Bendigo. I remember it ran a super race at Ballarat probably 3 or 4 months ago when it drew 1, but it's just been sort of there or thereabouts without sort of breaking through. So if it found its best form, it could certainly make it interesting over that sprint trip. But yeah, Hopeful Beauty sort of appeals as the one, even though it is short, is probably the one to beat.
Kukuklin was good again. We ran 3rd behind it, but I think Adele is low flying. So Chris Finozio did everything he could. He didn't leave anything in the tank. I think he still got home in about 29 seconds. But Adele was just way too good. So a little bit of value there for a horse that is very, very consistent, as is always with Chris Finozios. Well done to Benio Harness Racing Club for naming this race the Keith Pratt and Paul James Jewel Gordon Rothica medal claiming pace. You probably the claimer's probably right. They're both elderly gentlemen, so that part's probably okay. But in all seriousness, well done to them for recognising their great achievement on Bendigo's biggest night, Aldebaran Park Murray Mile night and Bendigo Cup night. To put a race with a name like that, they could have slipped it in any time and it would have been well done. But on the biggest stage, congratulations and well done, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, and well deserved award for both those guys. Absolutely. They've been really big contributors to the game.
I see Jack Callaghan's got the drive on ample power. He'll be wondering what he's done if he puts in one of his acts.
It's an interesting claimer. It's obviously from 10,000 up to 100, so it's a fairly widespread you've got Bernie at the top of the pops there with a 90k price tag. Look. Jillaby Bandit and Yorkshire probably the two, even though they've drawn outside the front row. Jillaby Bandit, it's an amazing training performance to get this horse back to the races and winning like it did at Ballarat. I'm just looking at its form here. So it was second at Melton back in August of 2019 behind, in the My Lightning Blue Free for All. It's only at the start after that was January in the Casey Classic. And then wasn't seen for well over 18 months, 19 months, and then ran second at Melton first up, and has been in really good form. Then ran 8th in the Cranbourne Cup. It's an amazing performance. I don't know what the issues were behind the scenes with the horse, but an incredible performance and perseverance, because obviously his horse has got a ton of ability, but to come back and be that consistent, and to be fair, I don't think anybody's going to fork out 40,000. To buy him, so they'll be able to race him through these claimers, probably safe in the knowledge he's probably not going to leave their care unless someone's prepared to pay 40, but I don't think they would. But he's a super horse. He's in that particular grade, and it's a feather in the cap of the team to get the horse back to the races.
They have a swimming hole. So I will say now, stay tuned.
I'm not surprised.
Stay tuned to Campbell's comments, because there'll be a stable chat coming, which is proudly brought to you by Kelly Partners. But they, I get some funny little Snapchat videos from time to time with 3 and 4 horses swimming. It's a massive swimming pool, and I think that's why between that and the straight track, and they were putting in a new round track. I don't know if they've done that yet at all or not, but there was a lot of works going on, and they may have got quite a few of those things done. So. Stay tuned. I'm going to hopefully get there very, very shortly to go into that. For mine, Bendigo always has, you should always have your cup probably at the top of the pops. When I was on the committee, I tried to explain to them that this Aldebaran Park Murray Mile is a pin-up race for harness racing. It's a pin-up race for Bendigo Harness Racing Club, and this field here proves that. It's got the best field of trotters going around at the minute, and you'd go a long way to find too many. If you could pick every horse that's been racing that wouldn't be in it and in there up to their ear over the 1650, Ripon Field, and although Tornado Valley's as your favourite there at 350, it's a wide open race that anyone can win this.
It is, and I think you just got to remember too, it's over the mile, not the 1650, so It's a little bit shorter, and it's a little bit of a lesser run to that first corner. So, barriers certainly make a bit of a difference, particularly the inside draws. I'm just trying to see if there's any. Yes, there is. There's some fixed odds up, so give the viewers a bit of an idea. So Tornado Valley is actually 225 on the fixed odds, so he's a bit shorter on than what you're seeing on the screen there.
So Aldebaran Ravani is exceptionally fast, but at Menangle. So can I play one thing that some people may or may not think about? There is 50 metres less. So generally when they release them down the back, there's 2 races earlier in the night, there's 1650. There is a 50 metre longer straight run before the arms release. And she is electric those first couple of strides off the arm. She could cross him. The issue would be, can she still be trotting? Because that first turn's going to come up a hell of a lot quicker than what she's used to at Menangle.
Yeah, it's a trick on most of the 1,000 metre tracks. We don't have pure mile races as a rule, because there isn't a great run into that first turn, and that's why most of them are the 1650, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever the case may be. But It will be interesting to see if he can kick through on the inside and hold a position. He's got the good draw, and he can obviously make the most of it. Has been backed from about 260 to 225 on the fixed odds, so he's had a bit of backing already. Aldebaran and Ravani's at $4.80 second elect, and then you're out to $6.50 for Wobbly, $8 I'm Ready Jet, $8.50 Majestic Man is probably a bit of a forgotten horse, I think, in some respects. And then double figures, Queen of Crimes at 11. She can get out of the gate quick at her best. Have Horse Will Travels at 11, and then big odds for the others. But it's it's a really good edition of the Maori Mile, that's for sure.
I'm Ready Jet could be a forgotten horse,
and it probably gets an opportunity, particularly if Tornado Valley was to lead, and he gets first chance at that sprint lane run. It'd certainly be a chance to go through and beat him.
But that could be the issue, is whether they can hold up onto its back and whether they want to, because it might throw a spanner in the works.
Well, and we've seen previously with Tornado Valley, he's pretty good with a sit. We know he won the Great Southern Star behind the leader, got the sprint lane and came through and won. So if Aldebaran Ravani was able to get to the lead, I don't think it'd be the end of the world for Tornado Valley, that's for sure.
The J.A. Mazzetti printing pace, I haven't seen Emmy on our feed. I don't know if he's on our feed or not, Daniel. I haven't seen if there's any comments either, because I'm off that screen. I can go back to it actually very quickly, but this race again over the 1650 over the short is going to be an interesting race. There's some big odds about some horses that are in form, but that all comes about because of Faraday Hanover, the US bred Bruce Edwards owned mare that just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and another horse that they're sticking to these short course races. When they come around, they're waiting for them, and away they go.
Yeah, and I think they've worked that out. Pretty. They've latched onto that thought and are running with it, and it's working for them. So they might as well keep doing it. 157 at Cranbourne, which is pretty quick going even for Cranbourne. 157.8 at Kilmore. And then 155.6 at Cranbourne, so and 154.3 at Swan Hill. So some really good times there. If it gets to the front and can get an easy first 400 metres around that bend, it's going to be pretty hard to beat from the draw.
Yeah, absolutely. I tend to agree with that. Peter Ramiro, hello and welcome to you. Good evening is the word I was going to say. And he had a good run, unfortunately, when we went off air. So yeah, we like.
Well, he got the winner. He got a winner there at Albury on New Year's Eve. Rambunctious was trailing the favourite, and on any other track with the sprint lane, Cameron Maggs would have gone to the left and probably still won. But he was able to get out and charge down the outside. He only needed about 80 metres of room to get to the front, and he charged home and got up and won. So that horse has been pretty consistent without being, in winning form, but has won a couple of races over the last little bit. So he's a nice type. He's a nice horse. Nice bread and butter horse.
And he's also Pete loves. We know that's for sure. Harness Breeders Victoria, the Hero Championships are on the next day at the VAS Saddle Horse Championships in Bendigo. So I'm presuming when she's saying the next day, is that after Bendigo? Do we know? You don't know either?
No.
I can just see if Desiree is still there. She might give us a bit more update, because when she says the day after, I'm presuming she's meaning Sunday, but don't know, and I won't be able to be there, Desiree. I would have liked to have gone, but I will be at Cobram with my fine friend, but we'll get there. And Nigel, spot on. Sunday Sun is a homebred. Someone just took over that. Sunday Sun is a homebred champion who broke the track record by 8 seconds and could have gone another lap. We still don't promote him. People love horses, pretty simple marketing. And well done to John Dunn for staying in New Zealand. We want all the good horses here in Australia, but he's staying there because he couldn't bring him over. I wouldn't want to let a horse like that out of my stable, so well done to him for looking out for that. And Harness Breeders Victoria have said it's on this Sunday, so I won't be there, but good luck to everyone that's going to that. That's for sure. So Garrard's Horse and Hound, Benio Pacing Cup. Daniel, you might go through the tote odds very quickly before we talk about it too much.
Yeah, so the Cup I'm just trying to see if it'll.
Sorry, I might have thrown you under the bus a bit, did I?
No. I was on the right screen. I was just trying to see if I could sort it by price, but it's not going to let me do it. Spirit of St. Louis is the favourite at $2.80. I'll go down the board, I guess. Torrid Saints at $6.50. Spirit of St. Louis $2.80. Demon Delights at $5.50. Rick Riley's at $150. Triple Eight is at $5. It opened at $6.50 and's firmed in, so there's been money for it already. 408's in at $35. Supreme Dominators at $23. Tango Tara, who is into $8.50. It opened at $13, so I'd say some people might have backed him after that trial yesterday. Silent Major is at 11. Phoenix Prince is at 19. Rack 'em Up Tiger Pie at 81. Better Be the Bomb at 19. And the Emergency Monomia is at $151. But Spirit of St. Louis with the good draw is the favourite for the Bendigo Cup.
Fair discrepancies there to what's on the trots.com app. What did you say Demon Delight was?
Which one?
Demon Delight?
$5.50's third elect.
$26 on this price assessed market.
I don't know whether it's been. No, it opened at $5, so it's that was
There was a
fair discrepancy. Fair discrepancy, and you can, and that's and no disrespect to anyone that does those, because it's not the easiest thing to do. I think a lot of the time it's just done, one person's opinion, I guess, trying to frame a market. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they're way out. So it always pays to follow the Tab app or whichever app you've got, just so you can get an idea of what the prices are, because when the fixed odds land, because you can sometimes be led astray by those prices.
Tango Tara was good, but it was only a 2-horse trial. The horse that he beat is waiting another week for the Shepparton Cup, so you've got to probably take that for the way that it is. Torrid Saint is flying. He started in the Victoria Cup. He was possibly about those same odds in the Victoria Cup, so he probably deserves to be a touch shorter than what he is.
He gets that draw again, though. He needs that good draw, and he gets it. So, I think...
Wasn't there all the debate? Remember all the debate about whether he can hold up or he can't hold up? And guess what? He held up easy. So people are going to be starting to talk about the total, who's going to lead, who's not going to lead. I think, Johnny Keldo, whoever he wants to hand up to.
He won't want to try and lead all the way, especially with Spirit of St. Louis. But he'll know his best.
He'll hand up to whoever he wants.
Is to try and take over, and particularly if it's on Spirit of St. Louis, who I can't imagine would be looking to hand up to anything weaker than it. He'll be wanting to lead, and if that's the case, Torrid Saint's going to get that charmed run. And if there is any pressure, for the 1400 of the last mile, he can certainly sprint 200 metres. That's for sure.
Definitely. Who are you picking on top very quickly, just without looking too hard?
It is a good run. The one that sort of sticks out a little bit, and obviously has been firmed a little bit, and our mate on Facebook's probably going to hate me for it, but we're going to tip the great driver in Greg Sugars. I think Triple Eight's probably he's racing really consistently, and I know his form's probably his figure form doesn't read superb, and he's obviously because he's been racing in the Inter Dominion. He had no chance in the final. He was beaten 45 odd metres. Just having a look to where he was. He was well out the back, so he was never a realistic chance. They would have freshened him up, and I just think that he's probably just on each way odds at the moment. You wouldn't want to be you wouldn't want to be backing him each way if he gets into a bit shorter quote, but you just know the type of run you're going to get from him. Greg's absolutely flying at the moment. He could win on a broomstick if he needed to. I just think he's probably the play. And the one I want to watch is Phoenix Prince. First up, it might be a bridge too far, but I just want to see how it goes at a decent price. Have seen it win a Shep Cup from off the track. So if it gets the right sort of run and it's reasonably well conditioned, I think it could be an each way hope at decent odds.
You love rubbing it into poor Nigel. You do realise that Spellbound is owned by the Witches. and you just turned around and said he could win on a broomstick. What, you're going to even rub his nose in it with the witches? I mean, fair dinkum.
That was a Freudian slip. That it wasn't meant to.
You didn't even know you did it.
No, I know.
And Phoenix Prince is a huge interest in it as well, because he was the Country Cup's Horse of the Year early on when he burst onto the scenes, and he got beat in the Bendigo Cup, and then it was after that things went a bit pear-shaped.
He got beaten. I just brought up his form. These were his last 3 starts. He hasn't raced since January of 2020, so he's been off the scene for quite some time.
2 years.
Yeah.
That wasn't hard to work, that one.
No, we are in January, so it makes it easy for you. So he's third in the Bendigo Cup 2 years ago, and then he won the Shepparton Cup just got up and won, and then the week after he was down the track in the Ballarat Cup. I'm just trying to see.
Second, so he ran second in the Bendigo Cup, won the Shep
Second
Cup.
Bendigo, then won Shep the week later, and then was down the track in the Ballarat, and hasn't been seen since. So, look, if he, it's good form. And when you look back through his form, it's pretty good. It's better than pretty good. It's really strong. You just got to take into account that he hasn't been at the races for 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and good to see Rack 'em Up Tiger Pie for Mickey Stanley starting to get back to a bit of form. So it's a good little race going forward, that's for sure. Cruz Bromac, I saw him at the trials the other day. Probably looks like a horse that'll need the run, but it still looks a very, very winnable race, and well done to Dean Braun for getting him back. We'll talk about Willow and Ladies in Red and the trial footage and all the rest, and everyone wants to back Tango Tara in the Bendigo Cup. Like a wildfire is a horse that pacemaked Ladies in Red, so it'll be interesting how many people tune in on that one.
Yeah, that's look. You'd expect Cruz Bromac to win. If the field stays at the field of 8 and you get each way betting, just have something to place on Bralos Pass.
Yeah. Yep.
Little birdie told me something.
He knows something.
Little birdie told me something, so we'll leave it at that.
He knows something, but he's not going to say it. Pride's Easy Feed is the last race at Bendigo. Stormont Star, Roma Pocock is big odds in this race, but well done getting a winner the other day at Echuca. Great to see Ken Pocock's colours going across the line in first. And Colin Godden, I saw he snuck up to Albury, I believe it was. Was it Albury or Leeton? But he snuck up to one of them. Anyway, I know it was one of the ones on the Riverina. I saw it the other day anyway. Yeah. So Abby Turnbull took the drive. I'm pretty sure it was Albury. Well done for patronising those clubs. But interesting little race to end the program out, Daniel.
Yeah, just a pretty... it was actually Sport Mental was the one that won at Albury. There you go. It was Abby did drive it, winning there the other night. So it's a pretty competitive race. It's probably the one and the two are probably the two that might find it a bit hard to win. But the other 4, there's probably not much separating those, and any of them could probably win with the right one. Vanquish Stride's probably going to be the favourite with over the odds not far away. But probably any of the 3, 4, 5, and 6 could win that race.
Definitely could. While I try and get myself out of this and into the next part, I thought I'll get it off us, but I saw Peter Doyle is there. Good evening to you, Pete. And as I said, we like all the banter. Alex Hurley was on, but she hasn't joined in to give us any banter. But we like having our loyal people there. We're going to try and do this as consistently as we can on a Wednesday night. I do know the 26th we'll have to rejig because I'm at Terrelgan Greyhounds on the 26th for what's going to be an interesting race meet, and I will promote that a little bit closer. But they're going to race on a J track, so a lot of the harness people will be queued up to listen to it. And I thought when they said a J track, they might start on the bend and then finish on the straight, but they're going to start on the straight and finish on, and it's
It will be. I'll just quickly while you're doing your bit. I was going to read something about it. I think they've actually just started racing there at Terrelgan. They had a lot of issues with getting equipment for the track. They had basically the track built, but they couldn't race because they didn't have the boxes. The boxes couldn't get brought across the border for COVID reasons. So they got a picnic meeting there on Monday next week. So they're starting to build up there, and it's something that all race goers will be just interested to watch it and see what it's like, because it's completely different to anything that anyone's dealt with before in racing.
Lee Sutton says they're really looking forward to sitting behind Big Jimmy Saturday night. Phoenix Prince? Suts, you better help us out.
Possibly, because there's no driver on it.
That's what I'm thinking. We could have a On Loose Lines exclusive.
Possibly.
Trust me, I could have quite a few exclusives, but we're not here to do that. We're here to promote this sport in a positive and enlightening way. So Suts, up to you, mate. You'll give us some feedback on that, I'm sure. And I love the fact that Suts gets involved too, and I wish more people would, because that's what it's for, is to have fun. Probably get Suts on. We might get him on one night. I have to work out how to do it and do that. Oh, like a wildfire. Well, he's not Big Jimmy. He's only a pony, Suts. So anyway, all right.
Fair enough.
I suppose, though, when you think about it, he's a little bit vertically challenged, Lee, that like a wildfire might look big to him. So, yeah, that could be.
Possibly, yeah.
That could be where it goes.
You said that, not me. I'm not.
And he will give me a mouthful when he sees me at Cobram on Sunday. You and I will be working Cobram for Trot's Vision. Yes. We're not 100% sure exactly how it's going to all work, but we'll be there Sunday.
I'm waiting to find out exactly what I need to do and what I need to wear. So.
And Lukey Humphreys will be there as well. I don't think we need shorts, do we?
I did last year.
Yeah, but I don't think we did it this year. I think it's a bit cooler this year. So, which is really.
We haven't actually had a real good run with the weather at Cobram Cup Day the last couple. It's been pretty rough the last couple of years. We had massive dust storms, I think, 2 years ago, and last year was very hot. But
perfect.
I think the forecast for Sunday is not too bad.
Perfect Stride won last year's Cup. I'm sure Lee's going to hopefully go against that. Julie Duffy. Now, if we need to get someone on, we need to get Inter Dominion winning owner Julie Duffy. That's for sure. So, and she's excited. She's excited. We might have to rock up to Shep. We might have to have a chat with Macca or Stewie Abrahams. We might have to do it in the. Stewie might get nervous if we rock into his shop to do it, but
yeah.
We might have to do it somewhere. I don't think we better do it at your house, because Suzanne might not talk to me again.
Well, I don't know if she's talking to you at the moment, but
it'll be all good. She's had a fair run, Jules. She's had a couple of grandkids. She's had everything popping on, so well done. She would have enjoyed Christmas no matter what happened.
Correct.
That's for sure. Rightio. First race.
Everyone would have got presents. That's for sure. If you didn't get a present, you would have been really struggling.
Yeah, the biggest thing would have been if Duff had made the way to the stores, because I reckon he would have had fun if he had made his way to the stores.
Yeah.
So that is for sure. Yankee Spider Trot, first race on the cards. Interesting races. One way to say it, Lee, there's a few horses that are a bit, I suppose, puzzling, frustrating. Come on, Carly. Didn't she come out all legs everywhere? All legs everywhere. That explains why they haven't sent her to stud. Everywhere. The last start, I think it was at Shepparton. But, interesting little race. Starlight Storm's been going good for Laura Crosland.
It's a tricky little trot race. There's some. It's hard to sort of line up a lot of the form. Absolute best form, you'd say Three Bros would just win quite comfortably, but it certainly hasn't been in that form the last few runs. Yankee Lover was a good first up, and I thought Walkabout Cascade was really nice at Maryborough the other day. So it's an interesting race, particularly if Come On Carly gets out in front and runs along as he did at Bendigo a couple of runs ago. He holds the key to the race. If he leads, they could break the track record. If he doesn't, it sort of opens it up to everything else. It's a really competitive up to 55 trot, and you don't often find these sort of races, but there's so many variables in this race. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Three Bros, you can have him. I'll let you have him because, his form's in New South Wales. He teased big time.
At his best, he'd win it, but he's just not been there, I'm sorry to say.
He ran second at Kilmore, and it was a while ago. Like, he's contested the derbies and things like that.
Yeah.
And talk about tease. It was the greatest tease race I've ever seen, because he just flew home, and then, ever since he's been a bit of an enigma. 7 minutes past 1, so Daniel and I will hopefully, fingers crossed, be live from 1 o'clock 2 a little bit later on to after that. So,
It's a long
Lloyd,
afternoon.
it is Lloyd Sound Maiden Pace. I can talk all day. Don't worry about me. Did you see what I did? Eddie, I tuned into Trots Vision, the Bort coverage. They actually had this bloke that wanted to sing, so I gave him the microphone and let him sing. So it was a bit of fun. We did ask.
They didn't cut you off, obviously.
Oh, Pete was a little bit what the, but it was okay. He saw the funny side of it, so it was all good. Lloyd Sound, Maiden Pace, one of the unsung heroes of a lot of these smaller tracks. Lloyd Sound, he's actually done his Achilles and his hamstring. You want to see him trying to get around?
Did he?
Yep.
Was he at Port on Sunday? Was he?
Climbing the stairs. Very funny.
Oh.
I lost audio at one stage, and he says, "I'll hurry," and yeah, it was like tick tock, tick tock.
I'm not laughing because I did my Achilles, and that's not pleasant.
He's done the hammy as well. He's done them both.
That's even worse. That's nah, poor bugger.
The Newberries, they've got one in this race. So trying to up the ante, goes okay. But interesting race. First starter for Mark Buckingham in Dark Lustre.
I've been racking my brain when I've seen the name. I think it's trolled at Shep and gone. You got T, fair income. That's unbelievable. No, I can't talk. I've already had mine. I think it's trolled a couple of times from memory. I've been trying to wrap my brain, but look, for a maiden race, it's actually pretty competitive. There's some decent enough form in it. There's some placings, which sometimes when you get these maiden races, it's you're dealing with a lot of 7s, 8s, and 9s in the figure form. This one's probably not like that. So it is a competitive race. The first starter, I think he goes okay. The 6 waiting no runs doesn't go all that bad either. So a tricky race, but I think maybe on an each way play the 6 and the 7.
I'm going to go. I'll go for a very loose one from me with on loose lines. But since Lee Sutton came out with Big Jimmy winning, where's the name of the horse? I just lost it. On Bad Molly. It's by Big Jim. So that's me omen wet. So if it gets up, you know that I'm just going to be crow on that one forever and a day.
Absolutely.
The Ron and Lorraine Emerson Maiden Pay. Ron and Lorraine used to print the books. Do they still print the books for? Still do.
The books for us. Yeah.
Yep. Another of the quiet achievers over at Maryborough. What's this one? This is a 4-year-old and older maiden again, is it?
Yeah, second division. It's probably, again, there's some decent enough form in it. There's some placings and the like in the form. So it's not a completely hard race to sort of work out the form. Bill Waters, who regularly comes to Cobram to trial, has got Vigorish, who was second at Leeton its first run. Galloped under pressure, was probably going to win the race and ran second. Abby's taking the drive there. It was a nice enough run to suggest it's got a bit of ability. I'm pretty sure you'll find that Rolling Ramona will be a scratching because it won at Yarra Valley today, so it will come out. So you'll be left with a field of 7. And I reckon just on that first up run, Vigorish might be hard to beat.
You're a big man on form. Look at you go. You got everything. We've got exclusive happening here everywhere. So it has to be scratched. If it's a maiden, if it won today, it has to be scratched. So
correct.
Yeah, we're not exactly turning the wheel. Divine Ideas. Pace, what do Divine Ideas do, Daniel?
They've got a shop in Cobram, a lot of giftware and those sort of things. And they have been incredibly long-time supporters of the club. I can remember when I first joined the committee all those years ago, that they've pretty much been a mainstay of sponsoring the club, particularly on Cup Day, and good to have them on board again.
Might be a good place for Steve to go shopping for Julie then. We might have to steer him that direction.
Particularly if they get the winner of the race.
Yeah, and Alex Early, she has to come on and have small jokes for her husband, Hodgie. I mean, fair dinkum, Alex. You can't be that cruel to him. Says nothing wrong with being vertically challenged. Anyone that knows Hodgie knows he is very, very true thing. Did you have anything to add from that race? Because it is a tricky race on paper.
These are the 4-year-old and older up to 50s, and these are pretty tricky races to sort of work out. Tasma Flash is probably the one that's got the best form. It gets a decent draw as well. It's had 3 starts back from a spell for a win at Echuca, second at Cobram, and then third again at Echuca on New Year's night. Gets a good draw. Yeah, ticks more boxes than some of the others. and it's going to be hard to beat from barrier 2.
Yeah, it is indeed. Steve Duffy's actually got, it is him, Grinning Assassin. Is a horse that I think I actually broke him in. I'm not 100% sure, but I know he's had a lot of leg issues and that over the journey. So well done to him getting him back to the track first up for, what was it, nearly 2 years, I think, or a year and a half anyway. So well done to those. And he's going to be a little bit of a chance in this race, but this is a good little race, this 51 to 54 class.
It's it's a good race. It's these races in the Golden Valley. The 54, basically anything from 50 to 54. They are the hardest races to win. Some of these horses have been stuck in this class for quite some time. Sometimes they can get it. They get that win, they get out of it, and then they come back into that grade. 4 or 5 runs down the track, they drop back. There's so many horses in this range of points, and they're just tricky races to sort of work out. I honestly haven't got a tip. I couldn't tip anything with a great deal of confidence in this class of race. It's the first leg of the quaddie, and a dead set could nearly be a field job.
I'm sticking fat with On Loose Lines, Julie Duffy, mate. They'll get the cash, don't you worry about that. That's called a suck, in case you're not sure, Daniel. I just thought I'd put that out there. Central Murray Credit Union, Cobram Trotters Cup. Good race. Great race. Both trot races over the weekend are terrific. This is a traditional cup race that you're going to get for the rest of the year. And has it got some intrigue with it? I don't know if the tote odds were there, if that's what you're looking at. Yeah, they are up. Yeah, well, I'll let you go through those, Daniel. But what a ripping race it is.
It is. When you look at the two trot races, open class trot races for the weekend, you've got the Maori Mile, which obviously is for probably the more elite class. But then you've got a Country Cup over the 2600, and you've got a field of 12, 7 off the front mark, 5 off the 10. Probably just goes to show how competitive it is. There's no absolute star in the race. There's no, rising, 4-year-old coming through the ranks that's, going to get an easy run off the front mark and might just snare a cup win at its first try. It's a really competitive race. Illawong Stardust is the favourite at 320. It's off the 10 metres. Humble Lad is at 420. Scallywag Sam at 650. Cyclone S. Adams is at 7. Jackson Squares at 8. Then you're out to Well Defined at 12. Travel Bug at 12. And then bigger odds for the rest. Justin Molly Archer's at 23. Benji Hall's at 31. Blue Coman's at 34. High Valley Finn's at 51. And Allwood Sunbeam is the outsider at $81. So Illawong Stardust is the favourite for the Cobram Cup. But it's a cracking edition. It's a very even field, and I think that 320 might just drift out a bit. It might nearly be $4 the field, I reckon, by the time Sunday comes around.
Right, can you go back a little bit for me?
Yeah.
Blue Coman?
34.
Justin Molly Archer?
23.
And Well Defined?
12.
How long since Well Defined's been off 10 metres?
Because
he always misses that one little step. This is the first time I've seen him back on 10 metres for a long time. So
he was off 30 in the Stall Cup. He was off 30 in the Gunbower Cup. He was off the front. Well, that was a mobile. The 2 free for alls at Melbourne. He was off 20 at the Yarra Valley Cup. He was off 40 in the Geelong in the McNamara Trot. 20 in the Maryborough Cup, 20 in the Kilmore Cup, and he was off the second row in the Shepparton Cup, which I think was a mobile.
It is, yeah.
So he hasn't been started this close behind horses in a very, very long time.
No, that's a good little betting race because you've got 2 horses that contested the Inter-Dominion and contested admirably both horses. I suppose Humble Lad may have been a little bit disappointing, but all in all, like Blue Coman's flying. He gets Nigel's man G Sugars too, so I suppose that's nearly an omen. But if you've
Ellen takes the drive on Well Defined too. We know how good goes goes for her too.
And Guy Valley Finn back off the front too. He's another horse that's got a couple of steps up on the handicaps. So yeah,
Interesting runner for me is the 2 Cyclone S Adams, and the reason I say that is because it is first up from a spell, but it was also a late nomination. So interesting to see that that happen. It's not often that you're first up into a cup race and you're actually in as a late nom. So the horse must be going all right if they're going to nominate it for the cup and race. So it might be a sneaky chance.
No, Peter Ennell's Cobram Caravans. If you want a caravan, he's the only place to go. And if you can't remember that name, you're going bad. Because as soon as I hear Peter, I just go Peter Ennell's. It's just
just be prepared. Just be prepared if he after the race, the presentation might run until after the cup starts.
Good little betting race. There was one horse there I wanted to highlight, and I've just lost it after you just threw me. Oh, Do Not Surrender. Well done to Isabel Welsh getting this horse back into some ripping form. Really starting to hit a purple patch in this field.
It's a good race, 55 to 65. It's a Little Demons. I can't say I've been a fan. I mean, he's in good form. I think I saw him a few times as a younger horse where he did a lot of things wrong at the trials, and he's just developed and is becoming a much more trustworthy racehorse. So I'm expecting him to go good from the draw from barrier 3. El Boston's been in mixes its form a bit. Second row probably doesn't help his chances. Do Not Surrender's been really good its last couple of runs, and A Piece of Lou, at absolute best, would probably win the race. And don't be surprised to see Boyo's Oars Castle Retreat run a good race. I know it's drawn outside the second row over a mile, and that's one of my cardinal rules: is you don't back any horses over that barrier over that trip. But don't be surprised it runs a good race.
No, definitely not. One horse I want to highlight, and I'm just trying to bring his record up now while I'm doing it, but is El Boston, Gary Payne. Well done. Because this horse was a little bit of a rogue for a long time. A few people had him. Calvin Barker had him all the way through, actually. Calvin's had him most of the time. And then Gary's got hold of him and done a really good job with this horse. He was only ever noted as a leader, a bit weak, and the rest. He's got a chance there from that little trail and draw too. So he's doing a good job with a small team, and Brad Chisholm takes the reins. So good luck to both of those guys.
Yeah, probably if he can get a nice enough run, he might, if he can... He might end up 3 the pegs, but even from there, he's still got to be some sort of chance getting up on the sprint lane.
No, I just think he's done a good job. What is he now? He's only a 6-year-old. He's won 6 from 40. He's done a great job. So, well done to him. Jim Phillips Memorial Cobram Pacing Cup Group 3 event. Sounds like you got
I've got a dog down here. I don't know what's going on.
We won't say it's going to die.
Don't think she likes the wind, although the wind's died down here, so I don't know what's wrong with her.
It's a little bit ugly. 9-horse field. Lee Sutton gets a drive on Boots Electrical. Good race. Well, how's the tote? Well, actually, I wonder which one he is going to drive, Blue Chip Delight or Boots Electrical. But how does our tote look?
We will get an exclusive if he tells us which one he's going to drive. So the favourite is Boots Electric at $2.50. Blue Chip Delight's at $2.70. So he's got his choice of the favourites for the Cup. $7.50 for Ideal Escape, $8.50 for Boy from Bondi, $11 Hashtag, $12 Sporty Dancer. Would You Mind's at $16, $23 for Glenaveril King, and Zadaka is at $34.
$34 Zadaka?
Yeah. And we have seen it get up at big odds before.
Ararat Cup.
I think it was, yeah.
It was.
Something like that.
It was. That's why I went a little bit funny with that. But anyway, good race.
It won at I'm just looking at it. Won at Kilmore back in November at 20-1, and won the Ararat Cup back in February of last year at $54.
Yeah, driven by 1K Manning and going there.
No.
Jodie Quinlan. Sorry,
Yeah.
actually beat Karen. Karen ran second. Can't remember who she drove.
Well, she's just made up for it, Karen, because she just won the previous at Terang on Beryl's Green.
Very good. She doesn't have to make up for it. She's miles in front of it.
It was 2 years ago. It's a bit hard to make up for it.
What was I going to say then? It is not a great cup field. we're not going to sugarcoat it here. We don't sugarcoat things and all the rest. But what it is a very, very even race of horses assessed the same sort of class. I think it's going to be a great betting race, and it's going to be a great little race.
It is. I mean, we understand where we are in the pecking order with this cup because obviously you've got Bendigo. You've got 3 big cups coming up with obviously Bendigo, then Shep, and Ballarat. So you're not going to pull any of those horses, those quality of horses, for a race like this. So that's why the race was sort of dropped back from a 80 to 120 to an 80 to 105, just so that those in the higher up in the rankings knew, the 90s and that sort of thing, knew that they wouldn't be up against the absolute cream. It's not the strongest field we've had in the last couple of years. Obviously, when you look at the last 2 winners, Perfect Stride was a good winner last year. What was a great finish, and the year before was Lochinvar Art. So I wouldn't say that anyone in this race is in Artie's level, but it's still a competitive race. Good prize money. Group 3 race, 35 grand, and it's. I'm going to have to do a bit of homework with the form, but I'd say both of Russell's horses are certainly going to be the hardest to beat, just based on what they've done in the past.
Make sure you do form for 2 of us, won't you?
I told you when you rang me before I was going to carry her, so I'll have to.
It's all good. And the last race is at 5:49. What's that? 4 hours, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
9 races. Man, people are going to listen to some dribble come out of my mouth. But they're used to that. It happens a lot of the go. Ben Stud Standardbreds. I'm actually going to Ben Stud tomorrow. I'm going to go to the New South Wales branch, though, tomorrow afternoon. Great sponsors at Cobram, just up the road. And if you're going through, make sure you go and check out all the yearlings and that. Give the farm a ring if you're going there to watch your horses race. Call in and check all the yearlings and check out the farm. Beautiful little farm. What is this one? Is this an up to 50?
Another 4-year-old up to 50.
Great way to end the card.
They don't make it easy on the punters. I'll give them that. Look, it's a hard race to assess. There's some winning form. Don't get me wrong. There's some winning form. My Name is Ruby's won its last start. Argy Bargy won 3 runs ago. Raka Play ran 3 runs ago. And then Tasha's Mates won its last couple of runs. I know that the form, it's been racing at Wagga and Albury, so it might be a little bit harder to assess the form, but still winning form is good form. Janali's been I don't like using the term, but it's become a bit of a money muncher. It's just...
We are positive on this show. You can't be negative.
But it's so frustrating because I just want this horse to win a race. I really just wanted to see it win a race. It trialled superbly like when it first came on the scene. It's only won 1 race out of 18 starts. It was a winner at Cranbourne, and it went 2-5. And it can certainly go better than that. I just know one day it's going to get up at about 20 to 1 and win. I don't know if it'll get to 20 to 1 on Sunday, but it's a tricky. These races are so tricky to work out. Good luck.
Rakara Play is having his first start from New Zealand. Nigel, if you're still online, give us any update at all, if you can. Lee Sutton is going to...
won at Forbury in October, and they went 2 minutes.
Yes, that's probably good enough form for that. That's what I was wondering myself.
Possibly,
yeah, I did see that. Lee Sutton has got himself a new name. He is going to be called Splinters. Because talk about sitting on the fence.
He's sitting on the fence. He's just letting the boss decide. Come on, give us something.
Punting Pain, Alex Hurley. I don't understand that one, but that's okay.
She said that when I went to Royal Ascot, the Get Out Stakes of the Carnival was a 2-year-old race with 24 starters.
Yep.
That's a punting, but that's just cruel.
Yep.
Absolutely cruel.
It's a good way for people to get out. Now, Alex, did you see she's been doing a bit of moonlighting as well? She went on SEN with Tobes. Yeah.
Yes.
She actually, I will say she did pretty good. She batted up a lot better than Tobes. I think he'd be nervous. So yeah, I think they threw a bit of cheek my way about destroying.
Get the contract papers signed. Away you go.
Destroying the English language would be fine. Tobes is away, so it's pretty easy having a free shot at Tobes because I know he's away with his kids. I don't have too much else other than Daniel. The whole show has been I've been wondering, what is the orange thing in the corner?
That is a Nerf gun.
That's what I thought it was.
It's not just any. It's not just any Nerf gun. Hang on. It's a bloody sniper thing that Patrick got for Christmas. It's friggin' huge. I don't know whether I can get a bullet out of it because I'm probably going to break it, so I won't. But the damn things are huge. Yeah. He had a fair bit of fun while he was here over the weekend.
The joys of having girls as compared to that. So, yeah. Yes, Lee Sutton, you're 100% right. The trainers are always the better pick. And just because Lee gets put on one doesn't mean that's the one that the boss reckons can win. It might be the one that he wants Lee to look after and do the right thing for the stable. So, that is always... Was that... yeah, I did see that, Alex. Straight out for Shannon O'Sullivan. Look, we say this quite regularly. We can't hear SEN here in Bendigo, so it's a little bit hard to hear. So I didn't get the chance to listen to Shannon at all. And I know Taves keeps saying, "Oh, you got your app," but I don't get off the phone too often to be able to listen to apps. So, but anyway, it's good that they're getting people on like that. Alex is an old hat at it. She's done quite a few shows, so yeah, you never know, Alex. We might have something in the pipe works for you going forward. We'll talk. Your managers talk to ours, and we'll go from there. Well, I think what we've got to do though, we've got to get to Shepherd, and we've got to find a safe zone, and we've got to get Leroy on because it could be a bit of fun. We might even get Rusty in as well. Imagine if I could do that. I get Leroy and Rusty in side by side. That'd be an interesting.
It'd be a good conversation.
It would indeed. All right, mate. So we'll be at Cobram. Bendigo Pacing Cup is on Saturday night. I think I said roughly about 6:30 was the first for Bendigo Pacing Cup. But don't forget the Aldebaran Park Murray Mile ripping race. Cobram starts at 7 minutes past 1, and right through. You and I will be there on microphones, having a bit of fun, catch up. Julie Duffy, if you're there, we'll definitely tee you up for a chat because I think that'd be awesome just to be able to catch up because I don't think she's done too much media, has she?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
She does a lot more nursing than media, so that'll be fine. And yeah, good meetings coming up. As I said, don't forget, please, the nutrient, the rehoming. I will pump up the sales, but definitely the rehoming coming up first, which will be about the 5th and 6th of February. At Tamworth will be when the sale's on, but there'll be the draft going on as well, so I've got all that going ahead. Right, mate, I'll catch you at Mildura. No, I won't. Charlton.
Jeez.
Oh, Charlton again. Where is the Charlton crew? They haven't even been on either. So
it must be still on leave. Still on leave. But yeah, Cobram, good day there. Look, and just for whoever's online there as well, it is BYO, so you can bring your own stuff, drinks, and everything. So make sure you get along on Sunday and. It'll be a good day.
What happens if you don't bring your own? Is there stuff there?
You can certainly buy it.
Oh, thank God for that. Me water. I was thinking, don't tell me I got to bring my own water. I'm going to look like a goose walking in with water.
No, you can bring your own alcoholic beverages if you wish to.
Very, very good. And Julie Duffy is going to be at Bendigo. So we'll cross paths on the way across there, Jules. So good luck on Sunday. Good luck to everyone with the Hero program and that at Bendigo. Yeah, I'm more than happy working with Daniel. Don't worry about that. But I definitely, if I didn't have anything on, I'd be going there. I think it's great getting these standardbreds out. Again, harness racing hero, so rehoming, again, like the nutrients. So thank you to everyone that's contributed. Thanks to everyone that's had a little bit of fun. We'll be back next Wednesday. We definitely will be. I will be.
Well, I'm calling it the Trots at Bendigo, so we'll have to work something out.
Oh, Leroy, are you driving? We're going there. So, yeah. So
do it live from Bendigo Trots.
Yeah, I might have to run that one past Cody. So, anyway, we'll worry about that going forward.
We'll work it out.
You never know. All right. See you Sunday. Thanks to everyone. And we'll be in touch.